that this guy weighs 288 pounds, even though he wears number 48. You see him get the pin. Look at the outside move right there. Gets the arm and the closing speed. He does not look like a guy who's 6'3", 288. But when you consider the fact that he runs a 4.7, 440, it causes for a lot of impact. This is a guy who knows where the collisions are going to take place, and he's going to be there when they happen.
All right, Tommy G did that without Sterling there, too. He left you alone, finally. We're going to be back with the Eagles, Bills, Steelers, and Cowboys. That'll take up a good part of the next half hour or so. Stick around.
This is the most dangerous place to be if your transmission has started to slip. Will you make it? Don't take the chance. Take your car to AMCO. AMCO centers have expert technicians with state-of-the-art diagnostic tools. And relax. Half the cars serviced by AMCO centers don't need a new transmission. AMCO is the place to find out about your transmission. Not out here. AMCO. AA MCO.
Last year began like any other. But as the season began to develop, it became clear that changes were happening. The blending of talent, determination, and vision created a new direction. Come see for yourself. The 1997 Arizona Cardinals. Feel the power.
State-sponsored Jeff Gordon finished first at the Daytona 500. Maybe it was luck. And maybe when Quaker State teammate Terry Labonte came in second, it was just another good day at the track. But with Quaker State's Ricky Craven coming in third, you just have to wonder, is there something special in this team's blood or in their engines? Quaker State, the quality the Hendricks Racing Team demands, the quality your car deserves. Quaker State, a clean sweep at Daytona.
Unleash the beast. Unleash the beast.
This is the sound of small businesses doing more business with Fridays free from Sprint. Call now, and your business can get long distance on Fridays free until the year 2000. Call 1-800-598-5000, only from Sprint Business.
The NASCAR Ride-Along program puts you in the action.
What's going on?
Kyle's breaking in some new material.
So, the Rhino says, forget it, I'll drive myself. Seriously, though, I used to be a grease monkey, but that was the pits. Just what I need, a backseat drummer, right? Come on, Clyde, try to keep up.
NASCAR on ESPN. Come along for the ride.
Thank you, you're beautiful. I'll be at the Laugh Shack till Wednesday.
Welcome back to the draft in New York. The Philadelphia Eagles, playoff team last year under Ray Rhodes. Loser in the first round of the Niners 14-0. Where do they make a move? Well, they've made a couple moves. They've signed Darren Smith, linebacker, Dallas Cowboys. They earlier, remember, signed Dallas's kicker, Chris Bonial, so maybe they're trying to enlist some Dallas North for them. They, in case you missed it late or in the middle of the week, William Fuller, the Fuller Rush man, who had a marvelous season for the Eagles last year, defensive end. They lost him, signed by the San Diego Chargers. So that's a little plus and minus with the Eagles. Now, with Fuller gone, I mean, he was mammoth for them last year.
He was, especially you consider the fact that Andy Harmon, Red Hall, both of them injured a little bit coming back. I mean, Mike Mamula is smallish on the other side. Fuller was really the big guy in the middle. I still think they go this way. I think Trevor Price is a very viable alternative here. I think you need a defensive lineman. That would be the area that they have to look at. I mean, their defensive line produced very few sacks. Mamula, a sacking specialist. Hall only one, Harmon only one, Greg Jefferson only one, and Hollis. I mean, that's all that he has left. I think there's a very good opportunity to get some quality in the defensive line here for him.
If we go Trevor Price, is he the next guy, and is that a little bit of a reach at this spot, in your opinion, Mel?
I don't think so, Chris, because a lot of teams really slotted him in this area. He's 280 pounds, but he plays very high. Comparisons from drawn to Alfonso Carricker, the former Packer out of Florida State. We look at defensive linemen. I like Wiley. I think he'll be a steal for somebody. Then you get down to Trevor Price, the next best defensive end. Now, there are some defensive tackles. One guy that some people thought could go in this area was Rick Terry, a 300-pounder from North Carolina. So Rick Terry from North Carolina, Trevor Price, I think they certainly have to go defensive line based on Fuller's loss and also not getting Farrah Collins. They gave him a contract situation, didn't get it done. New England re-signed him, so certainly a defensive line need. I think either Price or Rick Terry.
And the Eagles need some size. There's no question they need a little bit of size. So we'll see. The Eagles have about 9 minutes to go on their selection. We are in the final third of the first round here in New York.
Looking for a smart way to earn up to $40,000 for college? Call 1-800-USA-ARMY and ask how to qualify for the Montgomery GI Bill, plus the Army College Fund. Now, $40,000 for college. If your parents can't afford $40,000 for college, ask your uncle. The Montgomery GI Bill plus the Army College Fund. Now, $40,000 for college. Call your recruiter to find out how to qualify.
Wow, Daffy Duck! You're the greatest.
Thanks. Take a check?
Sure, Daffy. Just need some ID.
Are you serious? How many big cartoon stars come into the store?
Checks are a pain, but your bank has a better way, the Visa Check Card. And if your ATM card has a Visa logo on it, you've got one. It automatically deducts from your checking account everywhere Visa's accepted.
You're despicable.
Visa Check Card works just like a check, only better.
What a maroon.
Tonight, Mario Lemieux and the Penguins trail the series 1-0 as they look to square things up with the Legion of Doom. Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, tonight at 7:30. The Stanley Cup playoffs on ESPN.
Lindros looks tough. Let's get his prints.
How I spent my summer vacation by Matthew. For summer vacation, I usually get sunburned at the beach, get poison ivy camping out, or have to pose for silly pictures with a giant cartoon. But this summer, Mom and Dad let me have the time of my life at race camp. I got to spend 6 days at the Atlanta Motor Speedway living and learning just like a member of a real race team. At race camp, I learned about things like aerodynamics, suspensions, and how engines work. But the coolest part was I got to drive a half-scale race car and learn what it's like to be a real race driver. I even slept in a dorm that used to be the race car garage. I got to do things I never dreamed of at race camp.
Race Camp is a hands-on learning experience for kids aged 10 to 17 with sessions running every week during June, July, and August. For more information, call toll-free 1-888-RACE-KID today. Race Camp, not your same old summer camp.
It's not that great. I mean, a 24-hour sports news network. Yeah, sure. Scores, highlights, breaking news. Who cares? Big deal. People act like this is the second coming or something. People say, are you going to be on ESPN News? Nope. No way. Apparently, I don't fit into their little schedule. I need a new agent.
This ESPN special, the 1997 NFL Draft, is brought to you by the U.S. Army. Be a part of the toughest, smartest Army in the world. Be all that you can be. And by Visa, the preferred card of the NFL. It's everywhere you want to be.
Very good one. What? There was a name I heard.
We are back in New York, and we just mentioned that the Eagles had signed a couple of players from the Dallas Cowboys in this past season, including Terrence Smith just yesterday or today. They've also now made a trade with the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys, and we'll get you details of the trade in a moment, the Cowboys have now moved up in this slot. They have 5.5 minutes to make a pick. They move up 3 spots from the 25 slot. Is it to take a receiver or a tight end? Let's quickly go up to Chris Fowler. Chris?
What's going on, Chris? Trading within the division, all the old rules are being broken, but the Cowboys, we talked about it, their offense really built on the wide receiver position and the need to stretch defenses and create a threat with speed at wide receiver. Ray Caruth, we've talked a lot about him, even though his name has not been called to the podium in New York as perhaps the slider in round 1. Just talked to Ray out in Sacramento a couple of minutes ago. He is not that concerned yet. He says really the upside of being drafted later in the first round, sure, it costs you some money, but there is the chance to play for a better football team, the kind of teams that draft right now. But I think he's going to start to get nervous if the Cowboys don't use this pick to take him, or the Steelers don't use their pick coming up in a few spots to take him. Right now, he says he's calm, but he just wants to get the pick over with it and go for a walk. It's a tense time for these guys who are not drafted when their agents told them they're going to be drafted and when the teams told them they're going to be drafted, Chris.
No question about it, Chris, but they'll have their opportunity.